Hello and welcome to the CRN Vendor Q&A, sponsored by Ricoh. I'm Fleur Doidge, the Features Editor for CRN, and I'm joined today in the studio by Steven Hastings, Ricoh's IT Distribution Channel Manager. We're going to be talking about Ricoh's new partner program, which I understand is launching very soon. Steven, could you tell me why resellers should be working with Ricoh?
I think the appeal for resellers, recognising, as I say, that Ricoh are, relatively latecomer. We've been selling through distribution channel for the last 3 years, which is obviously, a few decades after some of the others. The appeal I feel for IT resellers to sort of partner up and join with Ricoh is that we are how can you put it? I think we're with the potential to be a huge partner for them. We have a huge reach as a company, broadest range of products of any manufacturer, and I think it's giving people access to a level of support and service that they potentially may not be getting elsewhere. So,
tell us about the new partner program.
Okay, happy to tell you about the new partner program. We are launching our reseller partner program after about a year's worth of development on it. We are very keen to be working with as many strategic partners as we can. But one of the things we wanted to do was to, rather than bring out a program which essentially broke people down into a hierarchy of spend with us, so someone's a bronze, then they're a silver, then they're a gold partner. What we wanted to try and do was be a little bit more flexible with people and look at what individuals' company needs and requirements are and allow them to, and allow us to partner with them in a way which matches how they want to do business with us. So rather than having tiered partners, we have different types of partners. We have 3, we have approved, preferred and solutions partners, and the individual needs and benefits that will be available within each of those categories will be fundamentally down to a discussion with those individual resellers of what type of partner do they think they should be with us and what sort of benefits would they be wanting to draw from us as a company. The reason why we're doing it in that way is I think if you look at Ricoh as a company, particularly with our indirect channel in the UK, all of our OA partners, we have a huge support team available for the dealers who are supplying the full range of Ricoh products. We have incredible support that's basically offered to them, and what I've been trying to do is replicate and match and mirror what we're successfully doing elsewhere in the company and taking that model and putting it onto our IT distribution channel. So we're using the kind of strengths of Ricoh, using what we know that what we can do well, using the fact that we offer, I think, tremendous support to people, and replicating that within IT distribution channel.
Okay, and it is launching in August?
It is launching in August, yes.
Okay. Now, so what are the benefits at each level? Can you tell me a little bit more about the specific benefits for resellers?
No problem at all. As I say, we've got three partner levels. So we have preferred, approved and solutions. Working firstly that kind of middle with sort of preferred resellers. A typical IT reseller, somebody who's, whether they're an e-tailer, whether they're selling off the page or whether they're selling transactionally, we can work with them specifically on what they would require from us as a company, whether that's support, whether that's obviously working with them on a marketing perspective, working hand in hand with them specifically. They may not be as interested as some others in MPS, for example, where we do have with solutions partners, what we're looking at specifically is far more of a sort of a wrapped up program, so they have access to MPS, our Ricoh Click program. The second thing there would be working with the ability to actually have access to some of our other approved service partners as well. So if somebody is requiring far more of a balanced deployment rather than selling just our printers, giving them access to the actual, the full range of our actual products through a supported partner, specific bid programs. So in other words, rather than saying to everybody, okay, we know that MPS is going to become huge and we recognise that MPS is something which we can do very well, rather than saying to everybody, all of you have to become a partner, you have to sell our MPS, you have to sell it in the way that we want you to. It's much more about when you're ready to sell MPS, we'll come and work with you, we'll come and put that in place with you, and then move up to becoming a solutions partner. If you're not, stay at the level you actually are. The key thing I wanted to kind of have was not that once you're at this level of spend with us, you get to that level, you're then called a different kind of partner. It's very much us working with you, offering you the services and support that you actually require and would be beneficial to you on a day-to-day basis to improve and increase people's business.
Okay, so what kinds of support is going to be on offer?
In terms of support, in physical support, obviously we have a dedicated and very, if you don't mind me saying, I think a very respected team within sort of my channel who are able to bring to bring and reflect expertise with individual IT resellers, and obviously SIs, VARs and what have you as well. So the actual terms of physical support, that's there. We obviously, as you would imagine, we have a full bid process available for people. We have our MPS solution as we're standing at the moment. We have a second MPS solution that's going to be coming out potentially back end of the year, early next year as well, which is a kind of trimmed down MPS one in that sense. Access to marketing, access to everything that we can do as a company. I think one of the things which we look to try and reflect is that, you know, we are relatively new to IT distribution, but Ricoh are huge in terms of MFPs and office equipment and what have you. 25% market share, and I think we've got to that kind of position by offering an awful lot of support and value to our partners. It's essentially being able to draw on that. For example, saying with a solutions partner, somebody who has a need for access to software, access to document management software, access to MFPs, for example, as well as printers. There's a huge support team, software specialists, production print specialists, right across the actual range of support that's available that they will be able to draw on. Now, as I say, that will be someone who will be a solutions partner. If somebody doesn't require that, well then we won't be flinging that and trying to sort of force that on people. Very much kind of we wanting to work with people in the way they want to be worked with.
Well, you talked something about value. I wonder if we could talk a little bit more about value. Specifically, Ricoh's always underlined that it's not about just offering the cheapest product at the lowest possible price. It's about delivering real value through your product portfolio. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
I think in terms of value as a company, Ricoh are one of the tier one manufacturers. As you say, we've never sold ourselves as being the cheapest. We've always been innovators of products. We've always been innovators within the marketplace. We have an incredibly strong product, an incredibly strong product range. We understand that the print fleet, a Ricoh print fleet, in 2-3 years' time is going to have greater financial value than perhaps a cheaper equivalent where it has been sort of sold on the cheapest. As a cheapest kind of model in terms of total document volume that's available on products. Well, again, yes, we're not the cheapest, but we have very good running costs. We have very good service and support that's available. So the actual overall cost of ownership of a Ricoh printer over a longer period of time is very good for the customer, but also very good for the actual reseller who's been putting that print fleet out as well. In terms of product value, we have the broadest range of products of any manufacturer. We can go from desktop printers up to production print via wide format, via software, via document management, and all spaces in between. So I think the value that can come from selling Ricoh, and particularly if you're working with us as a partner, getting access to some of that range as well, is not just being able to go in and sell a device to a customer or having ownership of that device with a customer. It's very much about being able to have ownership of everything that could potentially be within that customer. So the customer becomes yours. So if somebody requires printers, yes, of course, that's our headline, and that's what IT distribution is promoting. But if someone requires software, someone requires other products within a range, that's available too. You own your customer, and without being disrespectful, you end up blocking out competition as well. So the value comes from partnering with a tier one manufacturer with an incredibly strong product range and an incredibly good level of support as well. That's where I feel a broad value comes from us as a company.
Am I right in thinking that your R&D is pretty strong as well, and you have some unique technologies to offer?
We have some unique technology, R&D right across the company.
Printers.
Has always been across. You lead me beautifully to gel printers. Yeah, we have a unique range of products, which is our gel jet elsewhere in Europe, gel printers in the UK. Essentially, that's unique Ricoh technology. It gives us a differential from other manufacturers. It's very gel very much, and the printer range is something that we're seeing adopted by public sector. We're looking at a product with very low CO2 emissions, very low power usage. So in public sector, where those kind of ethical procurement or environmental procurement would be very necessary, gel is something which fits very much into that niche. Gel sits very much between what an inkjet printer would be and obviously a laser printer would be. So we're looking at a very fast, low overall running cost colour device, and it gives us a difference. I think primarily that product wasn't developed for public sector, but it becomes, it matches public sector, local government perfectly. So again, if people are working within that marketplace and looking to develop business in those areas, gel is something they should definitely be looking at, and that is only available from Ricoh.
Okay, okay. And last but not least, there's of course MPS, which has been something of a buzzword of
What does
the
that
last...
stand for, MPS? I've never known.
Just to prove that I know, it's Managed Print Solutions, and sometimes it's Managed Print Services. You guys, of course, have Ricoh Click, which a number of analysts have said is one of the leading offerings in the area. So tell us a bit about Ricoh Click.
Ricoh Click, I think we are justifiably proud of. One of the things I think which I think is very important with Ricoh Click is we're drawing on the expertise and authority of Ricoh. MPS Solutions, call them, have been around with the copier side of the company through MFPs for decades. It's something that Ricoh have been doing for decades. It's what Ricoh do. And I think what we've done with our MPS solution in IT distribution for IT resellers and partners is we're taking what will be the most straightforward type of contract for their end user and for them to administer as well. So with a Ricoh Click contract, people have the ability to sign a contract between 12 months and 5 years. They don't get any kind of limitation on the type of work that they'll be producing. There's no minimum billing. They essentially pay as they go. So we're not tying people in on minimum billing contracts. We're not expecting people to have a contract that will be any different from the MFP that they're typically running. So if somebody isn't using a machine for a month or so, if it's a school, they're on holiday, they're not going to be charged during that period of time. If somebody uses a machine a lot, they'll only pay for what they use. If they only use it a small amount, they only pay for what they use. We're taking, I think, the actual knowledge what Ricoh have and applying it to printers. And I would say, for me, our Ricoh Click contract is incredibly straightforward, incredibly simple, and it's how MPS contracts should be. I'm baffled by people putting minimum billing contracts in place. I can't understand why someone now would sign a minimum billing contract. So Click, I think, is possibly one of the strongest things that we actually have in our portfolio, but almost to us, it's almost matter of fact in terms of that's how MPS should be done. The other thing with Ricoh Click is recognising that the contracts themselves, the service and support that comes from us comes from Ricoh. We have over 1,000 technicians working in the UK. We have the e-service portal that an end user uses basically to, actually book a service call if they require, put on their actual, meter readings on there as required, order toner as they require, is incredibly straightforward. The distributor who's been selling that and the IT reseller who's been passing on has very, very little to do. They have full access to the details of their customer base, they have full access knowing exactly what's being used, and they have full access to, in terms of the actual the payments they've received from us from those contracts as well. So it's straightforward for everybody, and I think everybody should be supplying their machines on Click rather than selling them with a toner.
Well, it's really comprehensive. There's lots of details there. What should the next step be for a reseller keen to have a part of it?
Reseller keen to have a part of it, and they should be keen to have a part of it. Realistically, go to our partner portal, log in, contact us, and essentially just talk through what your needs are. We can go through the specific benefits of each of the 3 levels of partner, whether it's approved, whether it's preferred, or whether it's a solutions partner. We'll make an appointment with you, discuss with you exactly what you need, and then sign up accordingly.
Well, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks to Ricoh, thanks to Steven for coming in, and thank you all for watching.